Welcome back, Double Teamed fam. How are we doing? I don't know what that was. How are we doing today?
Yeah, I'm going to edit that part out. We're not from the valley. How are we doing?
I sounded like that one Benny drama when he's making... Benny drama when he's making those videos. He's impersonating Courtney or Addison Rae. He's like, how are we doing? You know?
Anyways, guys, hi. So.
Jesus. Edit that out.
No. I refuse. I want to keep it in so everyone can hear you go. Ew, wash that down the drain, Camilla. Don't let that just sit there.
You're being dramatic and you're lying. It went right down the drain. She's lying. Guys.
Well, I couldn't see it from over here. I don't know.
Okay, at least edit it out from the, Spotify audio, because, they don't need to hear that.
Okay,
So
I'll just...
keep it in the YouTube.
I'll add in a little something that makes it sound squeaky and cute instead of horrendous and cackly. And then that'll work. Stop coughing into the mic.
I coughed away from it. Anyways, guys, how are we doing?
Astra update. I don't think any of you really care, but Pluto has moved into Aquarius for a very short amount of time. And it's going to be there for till May, I think, and then
mid-June.
Oh, that's right, June. So Pluto will be in Aquarius until June. Then it retrogrades back into Capricorn, and then when it stations direct, it goes back into Aquarius, where it will be for the next 20 years. Now, if you're one of those people that are like, astrology isn't real, let me just say, if you look at some major world events, they all coincide with when some of the big planets make some big moves. For example, the 2008 financial crisis happened right when Pluto entered Capricorn. What does Capricorn rule, you ask?
I don't think they asked.
Well, Capricorn's kind of like the sign of business. I wouldn't say money, but kind of in a way
it is
career. Yeah, Earth. So it is in tarot would be the Pentacles. Anyways, Capricorn also kind of rules
it's CEO energy.
Yeah, CEO energy, structure. Its planetary rule is Saturn. Anyways, so yeah. So Pluto and Capricorn, that whole era was about, we saw the 2008 financial crisis, capitalism, and now, in its final stages.
It was also a lot about individualism. It was a lot about material things.
Yeah, material things.
How your job and the things you owned determined your value.
Exactly. Which I think is very, yeah, for sure.
Which, if you look at the past 20 years, yeah, everyone's like, oh my God, let me get this Louis Vuitton purse.
Hustle culture.
Yeah, hustle culture, or
you
have to have Balenciaga, everything.
But now Pluto moving into Aquarius is about
the collective
humanitarianism,
community,
moving away from the individualistic and the capitalistic mindset of Capricorn and into the humanitarian and collective mindset of Aquarius. So even though both Capricorn and Aquarius are ruled by Saturn, which Daddy Saturn is, one of the harder planets to work with, but anyways, so even though they are both ruled by Saturn, it's they're two very different energies. Anyways, so, and now, what are we seeing? Banking is tanking.
That right? Banking is tanking.
Let's not, no.
Banking is tanking.
Okay. Relax. Anyways. We don't want our global financial system to tank. But however, and
you are going to see a lot of restructuring around
the financial systems. And also, for example, Aquarius rules technology. And exactly. That's why we're starting to see AI really become more prominent. And I think we will continue to for the next 20 years. And here's a culprit I don't think anyone's thought of. And this might be a little bit of a hot take, but now that Pluto is entering Aquarius, alcohol brands, y'all better be clutching your pearls, okay? All I'm saying is the California sober mentality is about to be like a national thing. I don't know. I know it's going to be...
I would say alcohol gives very much Capricorn energy.
And low vibes.
Yeah.
Low vibes.
Psychedelics.
Take you into the high vibes.
Aquarius energy.
Exactly. So, like...
It's time to be friends with your brain, with your mind, with your soul.
With your body.
And with, like, the collective all one.
And not get shit-faced to the point of puking and making really bad decisions, you know, on a Saturday night that gives you the Sunday scaries. Yes, Mawiwi, she agreed.
Marie agrees.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not a huge drinker. Every now and then I enjoy it. But for the most part, like, I've just, like, taken stock over the years how drinking has made me feel. And I realize, like, I just feel like shit each time after.
I've found the perfect cadence for myself in terms of drinking.
And anyways, so I decided to kind of move away from it, and now I drink very sporadically, and I think, and I'm just a much happier and better person because of it.
I was gonna say, I can drink one drink
a week, a year, what?
No, just in a drink setting. One drink, 2 drinks. One drink actually kind of gets me a little tipsy because I don't drink a lot. I probably drink a handful of times in a year. Usually, like, I can count the times I drink in a year in my hands. But if I have 2 drinks next day, crippling anxiety.
Yeah. I think for me, like, 1 glass of champagne or 1 glass of wine is, like, fine. But, like, even, like, on a weekly basis, I probably don't even have 1 drink on a weekly basis.
No.
Now, I understand, like, you know, here, like, weed is legal. You know, we have access to phenomenal shrooms. Like, I understand, like, you know, for anyone listening in the Midwest, they're probably like, no one's giving up beer anytime soon. Like I said, I think it's going to be a slow process. However, I think as, you know, maybe marijuana becomes legalized in more states and more accepted, we're starting to see like shrooms and psychedelics be really accepted in the medical space. And I think that'll slowly creep into kind of like the commercial space. And once those two become legal and accessible to everyone, I really do think we're going to see a society that makes a shift because people are, especially with shrooms, I think people will realize how much better they feel, like just microdosing.
I guess, like, my curiosity is, you know, like when everybody's at the club, what are you going to do?
Molly.
You can't pop bottles. Just, you know, clink your little mushroom
pill. Yeah. No, I don't know. That's just a theory of mine. I'm sure not everyone will agree. And I live, you know, or we live in an area where, like, I just see a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, I don't drink, but I'll do psychedelics, you know? And so, and where we see like a lot of people that really like embrace that and then like have like all these like very healing and spiritual journeys because of it. So part of me thinks we will see more of that in Pluto and Aquarius, but we probably won't really start to see its effects for another like probably 10-15 years. The very tail end of Pluto and Aquarius will probably bring us more of that.
How old are we going to be at the end of Pluto and Aquarius?
20 years from now. Oh, we're going to be in our 50s.
It's going to be a fun 30s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited.
Anyways, so Astro update, whatever. Anyway, that's not what we're going to talk about today.
But also, Mars left Gemini and went into Cancer.
Thank fucking God. That was a brutal transit for me. Brutal transit. So if you're a Gemini and you've been struggling, that's why.
Yeah. Mars leaving Gemini definitely a lot of you should have felt it on an individual.
It probably made you question, well, it depends on what houses, it was in. But I feel like Mars in Gemini tends to be about cutting, and it was squaring Neptune at one point. So all the illusions of like whatever area it was in your chart, like probably went away, and you probably realized it was time to make some decisions and make some cuts and figure out which direction to move forward.
It's in our 3rd house.
Yeah.
I cut Nikki off. I'm just kidding. I was kidding.
Okay. Anyways,
whatever.
We started therapy during Mars in Gemini.
We did.
Yeah. To learn how to communicate better. 3rd house is communication. Anyways,
yep.
Actually, speaking of like communication, what I wanted to talk about today was titles. I'm very curious. This was a very abrupt segue, but you know, I'm just gonna roll with it. I was thinking,
it's fine.
Not long ago when, oh my God, my congestion. Anyways,
Please cut.
No. Anyways.
Sorry, guys. We're really fucking congested.
It rained in Los Angeles and there was a ton of wind, and that kicked up so much fucking shit in the air that my allergies went
terrible
haywire.
Same.
Anyways, so what was I talking about? Oh, okay.
Titles.
So not long ago, one of my partners, he was like, I finally realized I want a relationship with you. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm just not ready for a romantic relationship right now. And so that whole conversation kind of like got me started on like thinking about like titles, because I remember at one point I was like, you know, if we even explored like a committed primary kind of relationship, like what titles would we use? He's traditionally monogamous, so he'd probably be used to like the girlfriend, boyfriend, titles. And I was thinking about that, and I'm like, girlfriend and boyfriend doesn't really resonate with me. Like, I don't really have any desire to call anyone my boyfriend, and I don't really have any desire for anyone to call me their girlfriend. And that's just my personal opinion. And I was thinking about
what do
it.
You like?
What?
Like boo.
I like partner. And I feel like partner like encompasses a lot of things, because I call all of my current boos partners or lovers, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Anyways, I call them partners because they're either a romantic partner. Actually, well, yeah, hello.
Do you need a tissue?
No, I got it. I just swallowed it. I know. Anyways, they're either like a romantic partner, a casual partner, a sexual partner, a platonic, but still intimate partner, like
business partner.
True. Anyways, so it's like, I think when you use the term partner, it can mean that like there is a dynamic and a relationship present, but it doesn't fall under like the normal constructs of like boyfriend and girlfriend, say for example, and which resonates with me. That's not going to resonate with everyone, but it resonates with me. And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, for example, my two gay best friends, they call each other partners. They don't call each other like, I don't think they call each other boyfriends. Yeah. Oh. Never heard them like, he usually introduces him like, this is my partner, so-and-so, and I was like, I think that makes sense, like, especially in like maybe the gay or queer community, where they use that term more because it's like kind of separated from like the normal definition of like boyfriend and girlfriend, attached to like heteronormative terms, right? So, but then I was thinking, I remember, for example, like when my ex-husband started dating the girl that he's with, and I remember she called him her boyfriend, and he called her his girlfriend. And I just remember like when she would like call him that, like you could kind of like sense the like pride that she had in that, and like how much it meant to her to like call him her boyfriend. And that's totally fine. Like, I'm not saying there's anything against that, but I realized, I'm like, well, she's traditionally monogamous, and when you have a boyfriend, that then implies that you two have like made a commitment now to be monogamous, or to be in a committed relationship with each other, where you're, like on the path to hopefully marriage. And I just like, I don't know, all these like thoughts were swimming in my head as I was thinking about all of this. And I was like, I just don't know, like in the future, as I enter like a more, if I ever, I'm sure I will at some point, when I enter a more like primary or committed type relationship, I don't know that I'd resonate with the term like boyfriend and girlfriend.
But if it got to marriage, would you use husband or wife?
Okay, I was thinking about that, because one of the things about wife and husband and wife that bothered me the most was the preconceived notions that came with it. And I was actually talking to my therapist about this, because I asked her, I'm like, am I not wanting to use titles because like I have an avoidant attachment style, or am I not wanting to use titles because like they just don't really resonate with me? And she
also, just side note, I love that Nikki has an avoidant attachment style and I have an anxious attachment style. I think it's so fitting.
It's very us.
Yes.
Yeah, so roll call avoidant attachment styles.
No, we're not roll calling anxious, guys. Everybody work towards secure, please and thank you.
Anyways, so, and I asked her, because I was trying to answer that for myself. I'm like, am I just avoiding titles because I want to like avoid the the commitment behind titles, or is it just that they don't resonate with me?
And that just made me think, do I just like titles because it makes me feel secure?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, keep going.
No,
We'll go into my convo in a moment. You do your part first.
well, I was just and it was validating to hear her say. She was like, knowing you and the relationship styles you like and everything, and obviously this is my therapist, is someone I'm very vulnerable with, but she was like, knowing you, probably you just don't resonate with the terms because of all the preconceived notions, so you'd rather help differentiate yourself, so that like you have kind of control in that, and like you're giving people maybe like a place to like begin the conversation of like clarifying what that means to you. So
Okay, I like that, but my question is, what preconceived notions or did you think happened whenever you told people, like, or whenever you're like, oh, this is my husband, or your ex-husband was like, oh, this is my wife?
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think so, for example, when you say you are married, what do people assume? You're monogamous, you're gonna be a good little girl who doesn't go out and at a rave have her titties out with pasties because you don't give a fuck, and you're not like making out with random people at a bar. So it's like the and that was one thing when I was married that like I don't want to say hated, because like I liked being his wife, and I loved having the honor of being his wife, but I hated the title of wife because it felt like all of a sudden people now expected me to act and be a certain way.
Yeah, but you also have to consider,
and I had no intention of being that.
I know, but you also have to consider, you also put a lot of those expectations on yourself when you were first learning about, how you want to navigate your relationships as an adult, because you met him when you were 18 and then you married him when you were 21. So even then you were still trying to, you were putting a lot of those assumptions on yourself, because that's how, through some opinions and stuff, yeah, you probably like in your brain process it even more so, if that makes sense. Also, you were also married in the Midwest.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I agree with you there. But I did feel those external pressures. Like, for example, I remember one time I went to some like event thing with my mother-in-law, and like everyone was like, it's just like all the normal, like, when are you guys having children? Oh my God. What? I know, it's like all these things that like were just coming up, and I'm like, I just don't like, those things don't feel like they resonate with me. And
also,
so
that's also generational, because it's
no, I get that.
to an event with older people, and it's about the situation when you are. So I see where all of this is coming together.
Yeah, all I'm saying is I agree with you there. Maybe like if I got married again, which I was actually having this discussion with someone else. They were like, this person literally came up to me and they were like, give me one good reason why you would get married if you don't want children with your spouse. And I'm like, I can't think of one. And
wait, who asked that?
Someone at the birthday party over the weekend. And I'm trying to remember who it was. But anyways, I was like, you know what? You're right. And but like, no one's ever asked me that question. And this was literally the first question I heard out of this person's mouth. So I loved answering it, but in my opinion, like,
I have 3 reasons.
Unless, that you would get married if you're not going to have children with that person. Mm-hmm. Let's hear them.
I want to throw a dope-ass bachelorette party.
Okay.
And a dope-ass wedding.
You can do those without signing papers and getting the government involved.
I know. But B, if for financial reasons it makes sense for us to get married, that's another one.
Okay, what financial reasons?
I don't know if you...
So married filing joint.
I said if for financial reasons.
I know. I'm just saying married filing jointly only really benefits you if there's one primary breadwinner.
Okay.
So all 3 of those reasons you could remove getting married and probably be just fine.
Well, I can still have a celebration of love and call it marriage.
I want a celebration of love.
And
that's fine.
I want the titles. I want to be like, hell yeah, I got fucking married. I want to at least get married once in this lifetime.
That's fine.
There's
nothing wrong with that.
For 2 years, I thought that wasn't going to be in the cards for me. And then I sat down with myself and I was like, you're 29. It might happen. And then,
Okay, you can have a wedding and a bachelorette party and not legally get married.
I know, but I'm saying in the terms of just having a marriage.
I know, but think about this.
Because that term you can use legally or just for fun.
That's fine. You can use it just for fun. I'm just saying don't involve the government if you don't have to.
I wasn't going to.
Because the state of California makes
you wait. America.
The state of California makes you wait 6 months from when you finalize the papers before that shit's done.
Okay, that's fine. Sorry, let me rephrase. I don't need to get the government legally involved, but I would love to have a wedding. Does that
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just saying, I just don't think there's an actual reason to get married if you're not going to have children together.
So how did you answer the question?
I said I couldn't think of one. And I said there aren't any reasons. There's no point. And I told him point blank, I'm like, why would you get the government involved if you don't have to? Anyways, so for my relationship, and it made me wonder. I'm like, I wonder what other non-monogamous people call their partners. Like, do they resonate with boyfriend and girlfriend? Do they resonate with husband and wife? Do they resonate with partner? Do they resonate with lover? Do they resonate with, this is just my...
I don't want to introduce someone that's like, hey, this is my lover.
I'll never forget one time. I went to
this is my dick once a month.
Right? My friends with benefits. I went to
real specific.
I went to Vegas with one of my friends, and I just remember I met a bunch of his friends, and they're all like, so what are you two? And I was like, well, we used to fuck, but now we don't. We're just friends. And one of them was like, you can just say we're just friends. You don't have to explain that y'all used to have sex. And I'm like, I know, but for the sake of full disclosure, like, now you understand, like, we're close. We've seen each other's genitals and made each other orgasm. However, we're just no longer exploring that as we were before. I'm open to a one-night stand though with said person. Or just, an occasional little thing. But I don't really see him that often anymore. All I'm saying is I thank you for bringing up that question, because that was something I was thinking about as well. If I were to have another celebration of love and have a more committed relationship, or I had a partner that really wanted to get married, I would prenup the shit out of it. And then I would be okay with using the titles husband and wife. However, I just don't really resonate with the terms boyfriend and girlfriend. And I'd probably just stick to calling my lovers partners and have them call me their partner. Like, if I heard one of them introduce me as their girlfriend, I'd probably be like I and then have a conversation about it later and be like, I'm your partner, not your girlfriend. I don't know. That's just me.
You're so mean sometimes, Nicole.
That's just me. That's why I asked my therapist if it was my avoidant attachment style. Okay, I was trying to figure out, and I don't think it's mean. Okay, it's just what I personally resonate because of my experiences in monogamy and non-monogamy.
Okay.
Anyways, so if you're non-monogamous, I would love to hear what you and your partners call each other. Yeah.
Okay, from my side of it, for me, like, to be honest, thank you, Nikki, for that TED Talk. Now we're into mine. It's interesting because I normally go with the term partner. Partner resonates a lot with me.
For what reasons?
I was just about to say.
Okay. Sorry, I was just asking.
As I was saying, for a lot of the reasons that Nikki outlined, I like to use the term partner because it can leave room for interpretation on how the person that you're answering that question for is receiving it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe if they want clarification, you can move forward with that.
And I'm open to always providing clarification.
Now, I will say, like, I don't mind titles. My ex on and off partner, I officially ended it with him. He and
I hope he's doing well. I actually really cared about him.
Yeah, so do I.
But I really do think that it was the best for you both.
No,
and I hope he's doing well.
I hope he's doing well too. But anyways, he and I used partner. We used, dom sub dynamic titles. We used boyfriend girlfriend at one point.
Oh, I totally forgot about dom sub. Because if you have a daddy, you call him your daddy.
Yep.
But do you introduce him as your daddy?
No.
Probably not.
Introduced as partner. So, and that's what I'm saying. Like, we went through the different flows of the title, and it just, whatever worked at that time, we used. But then, towards the end, we tried out boyfriend and girlfriend. But even then,
did you feel like that resonated?
No, I feel like it's partner with that still worked very well. And now I technically have a boyfriend. Life update. But boyfriend resonates with him and I feel. And I really like that title with him. It's a little fast. Yeah, sorry guys. I'll do a whole.
What happened to, some solo time?
Somewhat.
Solo time.
Well, the thing is with this partner is he's non-monogamous, or he's polyamorous. He has a wife. So now he has a wife and he has a girlfriend, and I have a boyfriend, but I can still explore other connections.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still at the forefront, and we talked about this. I'm still at the forefront focusing on me and how I can heal and better myself after, 2 years of a somewhat tumultuous relationship. But I think I'm in a much better place. I think I've done a lot of healing in like the past 6 to 8 months that have helped me get to this point. And so, yeah, we started using the titles boyfriend, girlfriend, and I love it. I don't mind it. It resonates. And when I introduce him to someone, yeah, I'll say partner or I'll say boyfriend. I think I can use them interchangeably.
That's fine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with using the terms boyfriend and girlfriend.
No, I think it just kind of depends on, because you're right. Sometimes, yeah, you tell someone you're, if you're like, oh, hi, this is my boyfriend, like,
they're going to make all the assumptions, yeah.
And he's wearing a wedding ring. They're going to, someone monogamous is going to be like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I don't know. I just think that, like,
I think with titles, it's really tricky because some people do make that title the focal point of the security of the relationship. It's not whether there's actually trust. It's not whether there's, actual commitment and actual, respect, but just like, oh, that's my boyfriend. So he's always going to be my, he's going to be my boyfriend. And
it has to do with possession, with ego.
Exactly. It's going to be possession, ego. So some people really use those titles just to try to snatch and snare someone in.
Exactly. When
in reality, it's like, use what title feels good for you. At the end of the day, it's your relationship and what you make out of it. And, however people...
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, and this is why I was asking my therapist,
No, but you have to consider the fact that, how many times do you see a meme or something on the internet that it's like, what are we?
Because people usually need the titles and they need structure. I remember,
if you need the title to compartmentalize, you're looking at it wrong.
And the structure, exactly. And that's what I told my therapist too during our session when we were talking about it. I'm like, I want commitment and consistency and trust and respect.
We could call friends. We could call each other friends. As long as you're giving me those 4 things, I don't care what the fuck you call me.
Exactly. I'm like, I don't need titles. I don't need structure. I just want commitment, consistency, trust, and respect and love. So it's like peace and love. To me, the titles just don't mean those things. And maybe it's because I've had the experience of knowing, I've been in a marriage and granted we divorced after, I realized that there was no longer a commitment to nurturing the relationship. However, I made the connection that there was no longer any commitment or nurturing in the relationship, and the relationship had ended. It doesn't matter what we called each other. It doesn't matter if we were still legally husband and wife. When those two things left the relationship, that is when the relationship ended. The titles don't dictate it. It's not when suddenly you decide I'm no longer going to call you my girlfriend because, No, it's because now you're not committing to that person anymore. You're not nurturing the relationship, whatever it is that a relationship means to you.
And titles, it also goes both ways though. If you are married to someone, then you separated, now you're exes, and then, maybe you still keep in touch, and then later down the road, someone's like, oh, so, or what are you two? And then you're like, it's like, you don't have to be like, that's my ex-husband. You can just be like, oh, this is my friend.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I don't know. So, like I said, if you're non-monogamous, I would love to write in. Let us know. I'd love to hear what you call your lovers, your boos, your partners.
See, now I'm wondering if I want the title wife someday. It doesn't do a lot for me, to be honest.
It doesn't. I don't know.
Side piece.
Side piece is fine. And that's another thing too, is I want to be in agreement of whatever my partners decide to call me, because I want it to be something that resonates with me.
I will say that I at least want to know what they're telling other people when they introduce me.
I know, that's what I want to know too. So at the end of the day, that's just
maybe I do care if you.
Yeah, that's just my experience with titles. I don't know. That's just what it is. Something I was thinking about. Something I was pondering. Something that, as a non-monogamist, worth chewing over. But even honestly, like, even if you are in a monogamous relationship, like, what do those titles mean to you? And like, are
Is it
they
an ego boost?
are they necessary? Why are they there? Why do you feel like it resonates? I just think of so much of, like, when I think titles, I think of the structures associated with them. And that's where the non-monogamous in me is just like, fuck that. But I don't know. And the possession thing also, when you mentioned that got me thinking too. It's like, I'm just one of those people that I'm like, no one owns me, and I don't want to own anyone else. You don't own people,
unless you have a dom sub dynamic, because I would love to be owned with a capital O. Okay, like,
okay, see, actually, this reminds me of one time when
collar me up.
This reminds me of one time when I was like, the non-monogamous in me is like, no one fucking owns me, and then the sub in me is like, fucking own me. So like, there is a little bit of that paradox, juxtaposition. I don't know. Anyways,
I think it's juxtaposition.
There is a little bit of that, polarity. However,
that's a good word.
Yeah,
I think because juxtaposition is like
when they're together. Yeah, and
no, they're
what's paradigm?
Crossing at the wrong part.
No, that's
what
not juxtaposition.
Okay,
we're gonna look these up later. And what is paradox versus paradigm? Google that. I want to know.
Okay, hold on.
Now, but yeah, if we're talking DS dynamic, sure. If I have a dominant
paradox,
and they own me,
a seemingly absurd or self-contradictory statement or proposition that, when investigated or explained, may prove to be well-founded or true. A statement or proposition that, despite sound or apparent sound reasoning from acceptable premises, leads to a conclusion that seems senseless, logically unacceptable, or self-contradictory.
Okay, what's the meaning of paradigm? Like a paradigm shift. Shit, why can't I think of this right now?
Paradigm.
Like a pair of dimes.
A typical example.
I'm kidding. Okay.
A typical example or pattern of something.
Okay, never mind. That's not it either. And it's not juxtaposition. Okay, so polarity. We'll use polarity.
How do you spell juxta? Okay, there we go. I got it right. I know how to spell. I promise. The fact of two things being seen or placed close together with contrasting effects. So
okay, so juxtaposition could work.
Yeah.
Because
I always think juxtaposition is perpendicular, but you're right. It could be just parallel. It's okay.
Because I'm thinking like, if I have a dominant and they own me as their sub, like, that's different than a relationship. Because like, chances are, like, they own me in that dynamic, but outside of that dynamic, they don't own me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
glad you figured that out for yourself. So anyway,
I hope this resonated with y'all.
Yeah, I don't know. What titles are you using?
What titles
even in?
I don't know. Ask the monogs.
Hi, who is this?
Peter. I say the monogs as a term of endearment. No, like I said, I just remember whenever
that sounded so like Harry Potter, like, oh, he's a Hufflepuff, like.
No, there's nothing wrong with monogamous people. I love and am friends with monogamous people. I sound like one of those people trying to justify that they're not something.
I love the gays. I'm friends with the gays. That's what it sounds. I love the monogs. I'm friends with the monogs.
Anyway,
I have one monogamous friend.
See, I have a lot of monogamous friends. Okay, we're gonna move on from this.
Do we even have anything else to talk about?
There was that other topic, but I think we should leave it for another episode.
Okay.
The one that you said you liked, which I liked it too, but I feel like that can be.
Oh yeah, we can leave that for another episode. Leave y'all hanging a little bit. Anyways, but yeah, my daily life changed drastically in the past month. I did a whole 180.
Did you take time?
Nah, I'm a meta, like.
Did you take time to heal?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you are a meta now, so you need to figure out, make sure you're being respectful.
Absolutely. We're having all those conversations.
Make sure you're going at a pace that's comfortable for everyone.
Yep.
Okay. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed our little astro update. Pluto and Aquarius is nothing to fear if you're on the side of humanitarianism and collective progression. If you're not, maybe take a moment to think about how you can get on that side, because that's where we're headed. So, oh my God, next week is the live show. But the live show won't release for a while. So, anyways.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It was a little all over the place. I'll give y'all more of an update on my dating life another time, as things progress. And yeah, I think Nikki brought up a good topic for today.
A good prompt for everyone to go journal about.
Yeah.
Or maybe think about, or take it to your therapist.
Exactly. Like what?
Or take it to your partner. Go up to your partner and be like, look, what resonates? What do you want me to call you?
What titles do you like to
do
use?
Do you even need titles? Like, that's the thing.
Do you
like,
even need to overthink it like Nikki did? But, something like that.
I wasn't overthinking it. I was just thinking about...
You're one of those people that, this is where you and I differ. And I've said this before on the pod, where it's like, you like really like explore things. And sometimes I'm more just like, it is how it is, But maybe I should be doing more exploring as well.
So I like to get deep with myself, and I like to think about the things that I like and that I resonate with, because like at the end of the day, like I think...
Wait, so I have a question. So for the partners that reached out about wanting to deepen the relationship and use titles, what did y'all decide on?
Actually, this happened with 2 partners. So with one of them, I told him with both of them, actually, I told them I'm not interested in a romantic relationship right now. Okay, I'm making some big life changes currently, and like I want to take this time for myself. I just don't have the bandwidth for a romantic connection. With one of them, we're gonna be friends. We're gonna hang out occasionally. We're not gonna be as like consistent as we were before. And if when we hang out we feel we want to have sex, we'll have sex. If we don't, we won't. Okay.
And with the other one, because I'm trying to guess by what you're saying which one it is.
Guess who that one was? Yeah.
Okay.
And then with the other one, him. With the other one, I told him I don't want a romantic connection at the moment. However, I do want to continue like growing our intimacy and our connection. And if later down the road I'm in a place where I can maybe pursue a more committed romantic relationship, that's fine. But or like I'm open to that.
I'm never gonna be your girlfriend. I hate that word.
Like I'm open to that. Like, however, I just am currently not like in a place where I want to explore that, mainly because of like the emotional labor that can come with like really committing into a relationship. I don't have the emotional bandwidth for that right now. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at. And he told me, he was like, okay, that's fine. However, like I may sort of adjust how much I commit to this currently. And I'm like, that's fine. I kind of mentioned this in a previous episode where a listener of ours had asked about, commitment and like prioritization stuff, Like, it is never, a bad thing to like lay out what it is that you each want and then decide, I'm not willing to accept that. Because you can do that. So, like, I told him, I'm like, I'm not willing to go into a romantic connection right now. And he's like, I'm not willing to accept that. So I may pull back a little and kind of shift some of the energy so that, like, I'm not giving this so much energy without getting in return what it is that I want out of it. And I'm like, that's okay. I'm willing to accept that shift. And so far I think it's going well. I mean, I think we need to give it time and just see how it goes. And, and that's another thing too. Like, if you take the time to do that and then you realize, okay, this is just too hard for me to do, I can't continue on this way, like emotionally, then that's okay too. Or then you realize, okay, this is fine. This is working for me now. Let's have another check-in in about 3 months and see how we're feeling. So I make my connections sound so like robotic and transactional.
A little bit. That's why sometimes I'm like, this not heartless, Nikki, but you just communicate what you like, and
or Virgo Venus is.
If you're not ready for that, then it's okay.
Well, I don't think it's heartless. I just think like
I'm gonna blow my nose.
I don't think it's heartless. I think I just like know what I want and don't want in that moment.
And if you're watching YouTube,
and it can change.
Behind.
Okay, come on. I'm trying to. Whatever.
I know, he just looked so cute.
Okay. Anyway,
anyways,
thanks for tuning in. I'm sorry if we sounded super nasally and you heard constantly like.
It's allergies, okay? And like, no matter how much I blow my nose, like, it still all doesn't come out, which sucks.
I think it's also because we're Aries rising and it rules like the head and the nasal cavity. So anyways, I want to go blow my nose and
yeah, I gotta get ready.
So is Cami. Love you guys. We'll see you next week. And for those of you coming to our live show, can't wait to see you on Friday in San Francisco. Woo-hoo! We're super excited.
Yes. If you haven't gotten your ticket and you plan to go, buy it. Let's go. We're going to have so much fun. I can't wait. Guys, remember, wear condoms. And, oh, God, there's the nasally part.
I know. It's like when that snot gets to a certain spot and
exactly,
you can't, like, breathe the same.
Tap, tap. Anyways, wear condoms. We love you. See you next week.